At the end of 1978, Joseph Jackson severed his ties with Richard Aarons. In Richard's wake, Joseph recruited Ron Reznor and Freddie Dimon as managers. Both were experienced in the entertainment field. Reznor was a business manager and Dimon was a promoter. Joseph felt that he needed the assistance of these men, both white, in order to ensure that CBS would promote the Jacksons as the company did its white artists. He believed that the company considered his sons a black act and was therefore restricting the way it promoted and marketed them. Joseph's concern is a common and often justified complaint of black acts signed to record companies like CBS, which are manned predominantly by white executives. Like Joseph, many black managers maintain that white executives don't know how to market black entertainment across the board, meaning to white record buyers as well as to black. Of course, Richard Aarons is also white, so it was clear that Joseph felt the new managers were more experienced as well and had more clout in the music business. Joseph's strategy worked in America. Disney sold over 1 million copies and reached number 7 in Billboard's album chart. Not bad for a group that had a major record in some time. Disney did not do as well in the UK, however. It took 6 months for it to be released there, and the highest it hit was number 33, but it was now accepted as the Jacksons had sporadic sales in the UK. There was little anyone could do about it. They simply weren't as hot in England as in the States. That was fine with Joseph. The focus at this time was on US sales anyway, not European. However, Michael was still unhappy. Despite what his brothers tried to promote, he knew in his heart that he and they were not fully responsible for the success of Destiny. CBS had whipped up quite a publicity frenzy about how terrific the brothers were as producers, yet it was not true. They had actually produced that album on their own. Michael hated living the lie. He was too old for such nonsense, he felt. Gone were the days when it was acceptable to promote such untruths. Michael had never been able. Michael has never been dismayed about his life and career as he was when he finished the 1979 Destiny tour. While on the road, he had lost his voice, making it necessary for Marlon to sing his higher registered parts while Michael was just moved his mouth. He found the process humiliating. Eventually, 2 weeks of performances had to be canceled because of Michael's throat problems. Throughout the tour, Michael was tired and discouraged and couldn't seem to find the unlimited supply of energy he had always relied upon in the past. As enthusiastic as the audiences were to the show, Michael felt that something was missing from it. Barely 21, he felt he'd stopped growing professionally. He was frustrated by being in a group. It was the same thing over and over, he told me in an interview after the tour. It was all for one and one for all, but I was starting to think that maybe I should be doing some things on my own. I was getting angsty. To make matters worse, Michael loathed having to answer to Joseph and was getting to the point where he didn't even want to be around him. Many industry observers believe that based on the success of Destiny, Joseph Jackson had become a brilliant entertainment manager. Michael was not one of them. In Michael's view, his father used a shotgun approach to his work. If you're shooting out bullets, one will hit the target eventually, Michael explained. But you can also waste a lot of ammunition and maybe hit some targets you would rather not. Look at the way Joseph alienated Barry and everyone else at Motown. Some people, Michael argued, determined their target, stock it as long as necessary, and then it cleanly went with one shot. That's the way to go, Michael reasoned. In truth, Joseph would never be able to win with Michael, no matter how many bullseyes he scored. Getting the group away from Motown was the best thing he'd ever done, but Michael could not see it that way. His perception of Joseph was understandably clouded by his personal views about him, and his judgment of his father is a child abuser and philanderer. There was no way Michael would be able to credit Joseph Jackson with anything ever. Michael didn't even feel that the group had made impact after leaving Motown and signing with CBS. Even though they had hit with Shake Your Body, it wasn't enough. He was tired of the Jackson 5 image. He knew that what you wanted to do. Record another solo album, one for CBS that would fulfill his ambition, expand his artistry, and ease the restlessness that had plagued him since the Destiny tour ended. Day after day, Michael stayed alone in his bedroom, pondering, as Marlon would say, who knows what. He's very secretive. His brother soon realized that something was different about Michael, and it scared them. Michael was acting strangely, Tio would remember. It was as if something had snapped in him. He stopped showing up at family meetings, and then he discussed their future plans. He had nothing to offer. Maybe he was planning to go out of his own. I don't know. He never did say much. You never really know what he was thinking. I just didn't think it was fair that I stopped recording solo albums, Michael would say years later when looking back on his time. Parts of our contract with CBS was that I would get to record on my own. When that wasn't happening because he had been able to find the time, I started getting nervous and upset. When Michael told his father that he wanted to record a solo album, Joseph's reaction was predictable, supportive but with qualification. Why not? He remarked. You know how I feel about it, Michael. Do what you want as long as it doesn't interfere with group business. What does that mean? Michael wanted to know. You know what it means, his father warned him. Family is the most important thing. Perhaps Joseph wasn't overly concerned about Michael doing a solo album because, in truth, his albums never amounted to much. His first two for Motown, Gonna Be There and Ben, 1971 and 1972 respectively, each sold a little over 350,000 copies, which wasn't bad. However, his third album, Music and Me, 1973, sold only 80,286 copies, a dismal showing. His last solo album for the company, Forever Michael, in 1975, did a little better, 99,311 copies. Albums featuring all of the Jacksons always sold better than solo albums. Let's not even get into the statistics for sales of Jackie's solo album, which incidentally was terrific. Joseph always felt it was in everybody's best interest to keep that together. Therefore, if Michael felt the need to record a solo album in order to get it out of his system, it was fine with Joseph, as long as the boy wonder remembered that his first allegiance was to his family and the group, not himself.